Hey everyone, so let's talk about that episode 4. If you haven't seen it, this is going to be spoilers, and my goodness, what an episode! This was amazing. I knew the Arkham scenes are going to be difficult to watch, but this was just absolutely brutal. So, spoilers ahead. If you haven't seen it, we're gonna do a little bit of a rundown through, and then we're gonna talk about it. So, um, we kind of start off the episode from the Sophia's point of view. What happened in the previous episode? Sophia finds out that it was Oz, thanks to Maroni's wife, that it was Oz actually who was responsible for Alberto's death. Um, she then we go into flashback. We got to see her bringing up, and we got to see her starting a foundation, starting a charity, and she keeps saying that she's not a hangman, and I didn't really pick it up. The clues were right there, especially because in the Batman movie, Carmine Falcone was trying to strangle Selena Kyle with his hands. So it was such an interesting detail how they brought that into this show, just to kind of continuation with the character. Carmine in this episode is played by Mark Strong, absolutely wonderful actor who has been in everything basically and always the amazing villain. But she gets basically there's a flashback and she gets named the head of foundation. We get to learn a little bit more about Elizabeth Falcone, her mom, how she died. We come to find out that she was hanged, and then she was also strangled as well. We get to find a little bit more about Oz's and Sophia's relationship. He was her driver, and then he ended up betraying her because she was talking to a reporter, and Carmine didn't like that at all. That was a big no-no. So Carmine, I think there was a couple things that kind of popped in my brain during this because I think Carmine wanted her to take over the business. Carmine wanted her to be a successor, but he, I think, maybe realized that she could be having the soft side that maybe needed to be diminished, and he wanted her more to be like him, more brutal, more ruthless. And I think there's a couple things. One, she was on him. She was on his tail. That he was actually responsible for all those deaths, and then he was going to frame her, send her into Arkham. But I also think the part of that may be that he wanted her to be like him. He wanted her to suffer and to go through those things, so she can be brutal and ruthless, and so she can reach into that depths of where Carmine wanted her to be, which is just to be a brutal machine that like Carmine was. And so that was such a that was absolutely incredible. Oh, we also get to meet Magpie, who is one of the DC villains. I did a little bit of. I just quickly looked it up. She was established in 1986. She was a jewelry thief. She was a villain. So we get that was a nice little nod also. And I'm sure there was maybe a couple more characters in the Arkham that I didn't get maybe picked up. So let me know what you think. If there's anyone that I might have missed. Mark Strong is absolutely great in this. He is menacing, he is intimidating, and we get to see now how Oz betrayed her. We get to see how Oz used this opportunity to get on Falcon's radar. And also, Falcone didn't really want to talk about Sophia's mom. Falcone was trying to avoid that subject at all costs, and so that was such also indication for Sophia that this could be something wrong. So she picked up a couple of details, the dirty fingernails, and also how the other girls have died, and especially when the reporter was trying to get access to the Iceberg Lounge, trying to get access to the girls, trying to get access to any type of information from the club, from the Falcons to maybe put the story together. But we come to find out just how powerful Carmine is and how well was and how much reach he had and how much influence he had, and everybody, you don't know who works for him, you don't know who is on his payroll, and we get to see all these different options of all the different people who could possibly be on his payroll. um, Sophia started in this flashback a lot more innocent, a lot more grounded, a lot more like her mom, and so no wonder this whole process turned her more like into her dad. Because I also think that there's a little bit of psychology play right there because Carmine didn't want her to be like his mom, his wife, excuse me. He wanted her to be like him, and he wanted her to be. He didn't want her to remind her of Elizabeth, and so that, my goodness, what an episode that was, absolutely crazy. We also get to see a little bit more relationship between Alberto and Sofia, and we got to see relationship who the psychiatrist was, and he did quit. He said he did help Alberto um, uh, um, get in touch with Sofia more and help her get out. And then, of course, all the paperwork kind of went out of the window. There was not going to be any trial. Of course, there wasn't going to be any trial. It's Carmine Falcone. There was just no way that he's going to allow that. The magpie scenes were really, really interesting. But also one thing that in her cell, there she pulled the wallpapers off, and there was a different markings on the wall. So I don't know what those were. I don't know what those represented. Um, I feel like there's a meaning to that. I don't know what they are. So if you know what they are, let me know. Um, then the whole thing just went up sideways and frontways, and she. It's interesting. She spared the little girl at the end because and she got basically taking care of everybody else. But I think that little girl reminded her a lot of herself when she was innocent, when she was just wanted to live, wanted to be part of the family, wanted to just existing in that family. But that's such a burden existing in that family because sooner or later you're going to go ahead and witness things that's going to change you forever. Um, then I like how they kind of basically just summed that up at the end. She did spare John Vitti, so at the end, and she just told him we need to talk. So I think this is going to be a turning point for Sofia because Sofia needed somebody to stay alive to that she can control, but she can also access the family and access the resources and access everything the family has. And Johnny is that guy. Johnny knows everything that's going on in that family. So, and I like how she said Milos has a higher body count than I do, and at the dinner table, that was a nice little touch. But I wasn't sure how they're going to go ahead and do this. Her father, Carmine, framed her to be a hangman. That's the whole hangman thing that came about. I really didn't even think because in the Batman, like I said, he was trying to kill Selena Kyle, the Catwoman, with his hands, and they took that detail and turned it into and just continue with it, which is such a great little continuation of the character that they did. That was absolutely great. Um, Oz is also in just the beginning, couple moments in the episode as her driver, and then we see a little bit later on when she gets arrested before she gets sent to the Arkham. She was only supposed to be there for 6 months, but she ended up being there a decade, which is just insanity. And of course, that Arkham changed her. Arkham completely changed her, and so I think that's the whole point of that. One of the whole points of that was Carmine wanted her maybe to be that different person that she was before because Carmine didn't like that. Uh, she was reminding him to Elizabeth so much. My goodness, what an episode! Let me know what you think. I'm pretty sure I missed some of the cameos, or I'm sorry, not some of the names that came up. I had to look up the Magpie just to make sure I know that's who it is, and she did a great job. And also, I like how Arkham is just a madhouse, and there's so. I hope that we get to see a little bit more of that because I'm sure there is going to be some more villains in there that might be coming out. Hopefully, that will be nice to see. It will be interesting maybe if she gets to now go to Arkham and starts recruiting these villains for her empire that she's building. Because now she's on a war path. Now she's on the revenge path. Now she's controlling the family. Now she's controlling everything, and she is about to just become a powerhouse. Performance from Kristen Milioti as Sofia is absolutely phenomenal. Her innocence, her madness, her PTSD, her grief, everything was just done spectacularly, and everything was absolutely amazing. Sorry, my doggy. Everything was absolutely amazing. What a performance! What an episode! Um, I'm sure there is going to be so much more madness coming up from this because I think they're starting to crank it up, and I cannot wait to see what else they come up with this. One of the things that I really wanted to also talk about, as far as that ending, she did spare that little girl, so I don't know how that's going to change that relationship with the girl, especially when she said, you know, my mom doesn't want you talking to talking to me because she said you did bad things, and so and she said she's right, I did bad things, and I got locked up with the monsters, and so she said, yeah, I will never allow you to be locked up with the monsters, which was a really interesting take because all the monsters in the house that little girl was with, and so she took care of him, and so that was such a nice little foreshadowing what's about to come. What a performance from everybody, especially from Sofia. Her character is just becoming more and more and more better and better and better, and my goodness, the I cannot wait to see what happens with her and Oz. Oz is now on the run, probably, because Oz has realized that she knows. Now she is aware what Oz has done. And so I didn't realize they're going to go ahead and do this early. I mean, we're on episode 4. This is episode 4 now. And they just are starting to just, like, you know what, let's open up the floodgates. Let's go ahead and create a chaos. And I'm so glad they did because this just amps up the whole TV show up to a 10th. And um, the whole show is just becoming so much better. So let me know what you think about this episode. Let me know if there's anything that I missed, and let me know your theories. This was absolutely fantastic episode. Great acting, great cinematography, great script. The dialogue were written beautifully. The delivery was just absolutely great, and uh, the ending I didn't expect. I knew she was gonna. I figured she was gonna do something crazy because she was separating the girls. So I was like, oh my god, do not go do this something with this little girl. But she spared her and she just cranked it up and she took care of everybody else except Johnny Vitti, who I'm sure is now going to be on a basically a string for her to do whatever she wants. And I think this is going to change such a dynamic for Gotham, such a dynamic for the criminal underworld. She's going to call all these big shots. She's going to call all these big decisions that maybe the others weren't necessarily wanting to do. So she's hungry, she's ready, and then we get to learn a little bit more about psychiatrist, and he did maybe seem like for a moment I thought he was on Carmine's payroll too. It seems like the doctors were on Carmine's payroll too, and yeah, this was absolutely great. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts are. I'm sorry for the spoilers. I hope you get the chance to watch it before you watch this so we can discuss it. But what an episode. What a show. This is becoming absolutely my favorite, and I cannot wait for episode 5. And wow, what just absolutely great. I absolutely enjoyed it. So thank you very much for watching. Let me know what you think. Let me know what your thoughts, your ideas, your theories, and we'll go from there. I really appreciate it. Thank you for joining in, and I will see you guys at the next review.